What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some Marc Almond, and this one is a special treat from ever-generous and always patient Kim, who has provided a great deal of music I've yet to start going through, as well as a lot of supplementary material outside regular studio albums, which is the case here. Indeed, Kim indicated to me that I Created Me is a track that was only ever performed / recorded live, and this is a performance from December of 2000, so nearly 25 years ago, though she did mention this has been released on an expanded or deluxe version of his album Stranger Things, as well as some anthology release, so it has been officially released, but it's never been recorded in a studio. And Kim mentioned that this tune is not only one of Marc's best, but it's very reflective of who Marc is, and given the title, it feels like that is quite appropriate, or what you might expect. But all I'll say about the title is that it sounds like the way we humans, we are not everything we are from the moment we're born. Yes, we have a genetic heritage from which many of our physical and maybe even behavioral attributes spring, but those are cultivated through upbringing, socialization, and psychology, and over time who we are becomes a complicated, complex, and multiplicity, not and, that doesn't work because those were adjectives and a noun, but yes, the point is we become composites of different things, and while some of that might be unintentional or subconscious, a lot of who we are as adults is chosen or is deliberately pursued and affected. So in that regard, my thoughts, not my prediction or my assumption, much less my expectation, would be that this could relate to the way, in an existentialist sort of manner, we become who we want to become. We are more than just our physical nature, more than just our genes, but we are what we create psychologically, emotionally, socially, interpersonally, and individually. So yeah, that's where my brain is thinking in advance. It might have nothing to do with any of that. Let's give it a listen. This is Marc Almond. The track is a live performance from December of 2000, and Kim mentioned that Marc here is accompanied by Martin Watkins on piano and Neil X on keyboards, and this was performed in Union Chapel in London in December of 2000. It's I Created Me.
I hope I'll know when the end has come. I hope I'll know when to surrender. For they say the spotlight can be harsh when your years need something tender. How will I recover from the end? Will it come with a thud? Will it be a painless transition? Dipped in honey or drenched in blood? I hope I'll have no confusions about those bruising illusions. I created me from dreams and fantasies. I created me, I created me, I created me. A little irony, 'cause I hated me, so I created me. Will you still love me without my makeup when the darkness falls and there's no more ovations, no more curtain calls? Will you still love me without my makeup, or when the light turns cruel? Will you see me as a fallen hero, or simply as a fool? I created me from dreams and fantasies. created me. I created me. I created me. A little irony, 'cause I hated me. I created me. So where has all the glamour gone? And where are all the stars? Where are all the dreams I had? The ones I had when young. Where is all the glamour gone? Now everything's painfully the same. Don't think I'll ever get a chance to taste it all over again. I created me from dreams and fantasies, scarred with a shady past and grudges built to last. Threw in a little fate, left it to marinate with bitterness and bile. It festered for a while. I created me. 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 So you stand there taking all the credit, saying you gave me every line before I'd even said it. Yes, it's true, you helped a little with the shaping. You stuck the knife in when I was aching, just a little pain with every hurtful name. It's true you built the base, but I gave the pain a face. I created me from words that always hurt, the ones that cut you deep like bender and pervert, weirdo, sicko, freak, queer and faggot too. Yes, it's true, my dears, I'm indebted so to you. But just remember that the end's not always final, 'cause I'll live forever on CD and vinyl. So go now, for God's sake, let me be. 'Cause I created me. Thank you and good night, everybody. I created me. I created me. I created me. I created me.
Amazing. I mean, honestly, it really is beautiful, inspiring, human, vulnerable, and everything I would expect from Mr. Almond. And indeed, Kim mentioned in her email that, kind of Marc's biography is that he was living with a capital L, let's say, taking drugs and, part of the nightlife to the point of excess through the 80s and early 90s, and eventually, the people who were kind of managing him and who were in his professional and personal life really urged him to get some help, which he eventually did. And I understand that by the late 90s, he had come out of rehab and he was recommitting himself to, creating music and releasing music and, sort of got a second lease on life, if you will. And so I think some of the lines in there can certainly be seen through that prism. And I think also it's another song, and this would not be the first time I've heard Mark, either like by himself or as part of Soft Cell, have lines about how, you know, society's hostility toward him and people like him, you know, the bigoted, the prejudiced, the cruel, in some ways were part of his shaping, though him, you know, sort of responding to that here with a bit of, what's the right word? Like satisfaction almost, like, hey, look, you said all those things and, you know, yeah, fine, you know, you can move on, but guess what? I will live forever on CD and vinyl. And I love, because that, like, that hit me, like, emotionally, and right as I was beginning to respond that way, you could hear a lot of the audience respond and like, yeah, you go, Mark. So I thought that was really touching and, again, very vulnerable and human, and the idea that, in fact, like, before I even finished that thought, there was that section before that where I wondered, because he was like, oh yeah, like, you're saying that you gave me all the lines before I said any of them, and sure, you may have given me a base or a foundation, but it seemed to be suggesting that whoever that was, and maybe that's not just one person, again, maybe it's like people in the industry telling him, you got to do this and you got to do that, and, you know, if you do this, then you'll be successful, and see, it's a hit single, you know, we told you, and so on. It feels like maybe it's kind of like at, you know, Suits in the music industry. And I do remember earlier comments from Kim and I think a couple others about how, you know, they had fought their label to, you know, we want this track this way, and there was, you know, back and forth on like professional integrity issues. So I wonder if that's who that's about, or if it is even more narrowly targeted, someone who, you know, and I can't imagine it would be Dave, but someone maybe in his musical life who, like, gave assistance, gave help, but then kind of wanted to take a lot of credit for it, and like, well, you're only where you are because of me. And he's saying, look, you know, I created me. This, like, I'm not who I am now if not for my resilience, for my persistence, my stubbornness, you know, my wild life, my ability to, you know, get that back on track. It's like he's saying everything that people know at this point in 2000 as Marc Almond is because of the roads he's taken, the efforts he's put in, the setbacks or failings or frustrations or pains that he's felt, including, again, like prejudicial pain, like people judging him for who he is or who he loves or who he's with or his sexuality. And he's kind of come out on the other side. He's emerged on the top of the mountain, and he's kind of looking back and saying, look, I'm here because I created me, and I enjoy, again, the personal life story, if a lot of it through implication, like, put on display here, and the strength and the, again, persistence that it seems like this song represents. So really incredible, an emotional tune, his vocal performance, like, a little less wild than some of his vocal performance, but like feeling every line, which, again, a song seemingly this personal, this specific, I feel like that is to be expected, and I really did feel it in his vocal performance. So, you know, cool dancing piano, and there's some nice like synths, and it was a very compelling tune. But I'll admit, I was hyper-focused on the lyrics and Mark's vocals. So once again, shout out to Kim, shout out to Mark. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.